Hello, welcome back to my channel. As the saying goes, what a small world. It really is a small world. It's a small world after all. So how are you guys? I hope you are doing great. Thank you for joining me by listening to my life story. And here you go. When I started high school, I was enrolled in the class or section Avocado. All of the first year high school classes were named under the names of fruits. And section avocado was the honor class, or they called it first section. It means this was the class for smart students. First day of school, I was really shocked to see this boy seated behind me in class. I couldn't believe we were in the same class. This was the boy that my older sister and I often saw in the rice field with his family during planting and harvesting seasons. This was the family that I mentioned in part 3, living with my grandparents, whom my older sister was crazy, faking a story that I belonged to another family and that my mother was that woman with white skin and yellow hair, and this woman had a boy whom she said was my brother. When I saw this boy in our class, my brain brought me back to the past. There was a flashback of bad memories. I saw myself, this little girl, crying, being bullied by my older sister, that I was not her sister, that I came out from a bamboo and I was found crying somewhere in the middle of the bamboo grooves, and her father, actually my real father, felt pity on me and picked me up. That was the worst first day of high school that anyone could imagine. I was really planning to tell this boy about how depressed I was as a child because of my older sister's fake stories that my mother was that woman who had white skin and yellow hair that happened to be this boy's mother. I found out many years later that having white spots on skin is a skin disease called vitiligo. I think his mother had vitiligo. When I was a child, I had blonde hair and very white skin. People were talking, oh, maybe she was an orphan child and adopted, or maybe at the time she was born, the manghihilot or fake midwife exchanged her for another baby. I cried in silence. I was so confused. I wanted to share my older sister's foolishness, her fake story to this boy, but I was very shy. Many times it was already at the tip of my tongue to tell this boy that for many years I thought he was my brother. And I just chose to keep it to myself anyway and forget it. During my sophomore and junior years in high school, I intended to enroll late so I would not belong to the honor class. It was not because I was trying to avoid this boy, but it was because I couldn't stand the double standards going on in an honor class, and it made me also kept thinking how I wished my mom did not get sick, or I was thinking if only my mom were still teaching in that school, I would be treated as one of the cool kids in school. But during my senior year, I could not escape anymore. The office puts my name in the honor section. The Guhoy, that's the name. So we were classmates again with this boy. But as years went by, I was already healed. In high school, my classmates did not know that my mom and my aunt were teachers in that school before, and that some of our teachers were once my mom's and aunt's colleagues. None of my teachers knew that I was the daughter of Patricia, not real name of my mom, except our home economics teacher, Mrs. Legitao, rest in peace, who knew me very well because she was my godmother. None of my classmates knew that Mrs. Legitao, our teacher, was my godmother. Every time I came to her class, I wished the ground would open and swallow me whole. I may look like a quiet student, but deep within me, I was a troubled child. I wanted to compete academically, but I kept it low key, though I was able to achieve some recognition, such as the only honor student in our class during my sophomore and junior years. and I am proud to say that I always topped in the English exams. I graduated high school, left my place, and forgot about my story. Only this time, when I started writing my story about my childhood days for my vlogs, that I remember this classmate again. Ha ha ha. Actually, we are friends in Facebook. I hope someday when we will have a high school reunion, I would be able to tell him my story. So I was 16 at the time when I left my hometown, and I only went back there maybe 3 or 4 times to get an original copy of my baptismal certificate and to attend the funerals of my brother Kadoy and my mom. I was not able to attend the funerals of my grandparents because I think it was examination days in college, or I started my practice teaching at the time. If I go back to my hometown this time, maybe a lot of things had changed already, and I may not be able to easily find my way back home. Thank you for listening. God bless, and please subscribe. Bye bye.